I wanted to encourage people to go to teachanything.ai to sign up. The most important is to use university email because we are a small project, so you can't use gmail.com or anything else. And we currently have 7 open source LLMs. They are all open weight, and they are predominantly medium-sized models, and you can swap them anytime. When you are in, there's a giant green button upper right, create new chatbot. That's where you will go, and you will see the 7 different models. So have Llama, Qwen, OSS, Mistral, Nemotron, for example. So the default, the easiest default would be Llama 3.3. This is a balanced default in terms of abilities. Qwen and OSS, they excel in reasoning tasks, and Llama 4 Maverick has a huge context window. So it means it can remember a lot in one chat, equivalent to 2,500 pages of material in one session. It has, of course, its pros and cons when it can do this. And last but not least, Gemma is the smallest and fast. These things, they come in a blank slate because they don't reference the internet. There's no noise or pollution. It's up to you to upload files and train them, and then direct the behavior with background system prompt. Llama 3.3, strong in general reasoning, and if Mistral large, which has excellent multilingual skills, and it's especially good in coding. Mistral is backed by the French government, and so if you have multilingual tasks, you might want to choose Mistral. Qwen 3, according to partial data, it is more appropriate for STEM subjects. And we have OSS, which is very good in following your instructions. Nemotron is tuned for reasoning, and it can perform a chain of thought process before providing a final answer. Now, I want to know for all of them, with your background system prompt, you can say, please always reveal your reasoning. Which document and which part of it did you look into? How did you arrive at this? And I find that especially useful in creating a bit of meta distance. Gemma is the last one, is the smallest and the fastest of all. The temperature from 0 to 100. 0 means it's very conservative and very focused on your instructions and the files. It's not creative at all. It will mean that you probably can't make a lot of cross-references very well either. 100 means very creative and hallucinatory. And the max token. How long should the output be? If you want to create case studies, you probably want to give it more tokens. There are online converters. How many tokens equals how many words? In English, your background prompt can be in any language. It can be Spanish, Chinese, French, whatever, and it'll, of course, become a French AI or Chinese AI and so on. For example, this is in French, the system prompt, an example here. Algorithms in 58 languages, and you can configure in any language you desire. This is an adaptive AI, so its output would mirror the user's, how the AI perceive the user's level is. You know, if you ask it in a very rudimentary manner, it'll actually do a summary at the entry level, which is useful, but at the same time, perhaps this fear of it dumbing it down a bit too much. So the user plays a role. How you ask it, how you frame it. You know, if you're not coming in seeming very sophisticated, the AI will actually lower the level. You'll all receive onboarding emails from me with examples of what the background system prompt can look like. One major feature is you're going to upload some of your files, such as your PowerPoint, your lecture, your reading is from your class. And these are processed, indexed, and embedded on our server. That is the data set boundary. These 10 files the professor uploaded and specifically indicated, it would not look into anything else. So it's very smart and very dumb. It will only know the boundary you set. It's fairly accurate. There's very little hallucinatory misinformation unless your some of the files become too large. So with my own example, I initially uploaded complete works of Shakespeare. I'm so happy you're going to become a Shakespeare specialist. That actually is a bad move. It's best to chop it off into individual plays. So this one is Hamlet, this one is Macbeth, and this one is Othello. So reference scope is really important. You want to keep it narrow. And a lot of it relies also on background system prompt, which are called scaffolding. You just sent it this text, you would not intuitively just understand and master it. Once you upload the files, it's very precise. The citation can be down to the page and the section. For example, when it's the midterm, what does it cover? It'll say it's on the syllabus.pdf and it's part 3. All of this can be multilingual. So say you upload a file in the English language, and you have a student who's an international student who's interacting with the application created in Chinese. It'll actually chat them in Chinese about that file. So it's not direct translation, but it does parse it. This is the part where you can see student chat is completely anonymized. There's timestamp, there's the length of it, but there's no unique identity. You can search across the messages, you can rank them, you can sort them by how recent, how long, and so on. So, for example, this is a real-life example. One of my students is asking, how is this for my final paper, for my final project? I wanted to adapt Macbeth. I click open, you see the entire chat, the user query, how system behaves, user further query. I must say, having written such extended background system prompt, I felt really satisfied. One student just pasted in the final project instructions, and my AI says, sorry, can I help you with that? You see on the top shareable link, that is a permalink. So you just have to share that with, put it on Canvas, put it on Blackboard, or just send it to student. That is where your custom application will live permanently. No login. You can see also embed a tab embed. This automated HTML code generated for you. So if you want to embed it on a particular website, like what I did. So on my website, there's an embedded AI that is controlled and created by this system called Teach Anything. You can do that as well. It's a simple copy paste. The simplest, not everyone has a website, is simply to share that permalink. Beyond files, you upload files, right? What if there are websites? You can add exactly one web page that is important to you. This is called a crawler. So it'll crawl it for you, well, digest it, like a file that you upload, and it'll live in your system. This has become part of your data set boundary. You can also do full website. You can see the include URL, exclude URL. So excluding /lecture start. So anything that starts with lecture, you don't want to crawl, or you want to crawl. And if you click the download link, it will give you the JSON file. I want to mention our ethical principle. We respect the Robots.txt. This is a file placed at the root of most websites. In it, the designer, the creator, is expressing their wishes. Do not crawl this part. This is private. So respecting that, it's very important ethical standard. To rehash, we are in full control. So you go in, you create a custom bot, you select an open source LLM, and you're going to write system prompts that will direct its behaviors. For instance, I realized that most LLMs, they don't actually have a calendar. If students say, what is due tomorrow? So I had to program in and say, first ask them what the date today is, and then go to the syllabus and look. But I myself learned so much in the process about what is realistically possible, what is not, how LLMs actually operate. After writing prompt, you'll upload some files and maybe crawl some web sources. And then you will have the permalink you're going to share with the students. That is the link. So you share that, and it will not change. You can go back and update and refine your custom application. That link remains the same. And then students don't have to log in, they'll just come here and use it, and you can assure them it's completely private and anonymous, right? Unlike free tier products, they need an account first, and here they won't be tracked. So, and then you can check anonymized student chat histories. It's very useful. This is my team, Akhilesh Rangani, my former student. He's a computer science master student at George Washington University. Has since graduated, and starting this January, he has been a startup. He's the lead engineer in Tumble AI, and he continues to be involved in this project as our lead engineer. We have 2 interns. They just onboarded. Ryan Kosloff is actually a freshman at GW in entrepreneurship, passionate about AI, so he's a coder, but also interested in starting new businesses. Anu Singh, meanwhile, is a master's student in data analytics, and both of them have contributed new features to the system. And open source is our mandate. This is the license we use. It's called AGPL. It is not as permissive as the so-called MIT license, because the mandate is you can appropriate, you can take our code, which is on GitHub, but you cannot commercialize it. You cannot monetize it. You have to stay in the same domain, take and give back. And as a nonprofit, this is our board of directors, with myself as the founder, and Professor Peter Cooling at University of Guelph in Canada. You can see from his picture, he's actually a Shakespearean. He's very into virtual reality. So he created a VR Hamlet and a VR Macbeth, and he's holding the VR headset. And we have Professor Yoshi Nakamura at my university, who is in the School of Education. So once again, the link is teachanything.ai, and now it's time for questions.